Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we are taking a look at the best way to do all the encounters in the newly released dungeon, Equilibrium. What I mean is that I'm going to quickly go over any strats that you can use to launch this dungeon and get out as soon as possible with whatever loot you desire. This could be the new exotic crossbow, some legendary loot, or even that very sought after dark saber blade. Today you will see the strats that get you through the encounters the quickest, as well as damage strategies and what weapons you should be using in order to score those easy boss 1 phases. But that being said, I do expect you to know at least a little bit about this new dungeon. This is not going to be a guide from zero. You can go check out my buddy Llama for that. So if you are looking to bring some friends into this dungeon and get some loot, then this is the video for you. Also, to make all of this easier, there are timestamps down below. That way you can skip to encounters, damage strategies, or whatever information you might want. Also, while you are down there looking at the timestamps, I am trying to hit 25,000 subscribers for the new year. Right now, we are just 1,000 away, so if you're not subscribed, then maybe you can help me out. I do my best to put out good content, and I do sincerely think that you will enjoy what I make. Alright, now starting with Encounter 1, the opening to the Equilibrium dungeon. This encounter is honestly extremely straightforward and really easy to do. As you should know, you need to defeat the shield guys and every enemy that spawns after. To be able to kill the shielded guys, you need the Shadow Novice buff, which is pretty annoyingly only gotten by breaking these generator relay things and then doing the sparrow section in the circle around the encounter, picking up the buff. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to skip the sparrow section, but there are absolutely ways to make sure you only need to do it once. The main thing you want to leverage is the fact that the nameless apprentices, the guys that we're trying to kill, will drop a buff pool once they are killed. Stepping in a pool, regardless of your buff stack, will fully refresh it to the 45-second maximum. So if we rewind this clip just a bit, I have the buff, then I stun him and kill the guy, and my timer is still ticking down. Then if we skip forward a little bit, so when I step into the pool that this guy left behind, my timer is refreshed, and then I can then move on to the next. Now, don't do what I do here and get crushed by the drop pod, because now if you were the only one with the buff, you would have to redo the entire sparrow section. Luckily, my teammate Frezzy still has the buff, and for the sake of the video, I continued to spectate him as he went around and defeated the only remaining nameless apprentices, refreshing the buff on each kill. When the last shielded guy died, all you gotta do now is clear the field of unimmune enemies with a lot of walkers. And this is done extremely easily. You just use your supers, abilities. There is no time limit and there's no way to fail, so just slay out. Like I said, this encounter is extremely straightforward. Just endeavor to keep that buff active so you don't have to redo that whole sparrow section. And moving on to Encounter 2, here there are actually a couple of really interesting ways to speed up this encounter. The first and most obvious optimization that you can make in a 3-man fireteam setting, or 2-man, is you can split up. But I don't think you really need a video to tell you that splitting up does things faster. So let's show off how you can get to damage quicker while also extending the duration of your damage phase. The first thing to show off is that when you are breaking the boss's shields by dropping him the holes in the ground in that middle room, rather than it dealing 33% shield damage or a third, you can deal 50% in one action. And this is done by force pushing him with your grenade ability as he comes out of the hole. So if you do that twice, then you are immediately at damage phase, no generator necessary. But you might be asking, what do we do with that usual generator that we use to break his shield normally? And that can be used to extend our damage phase by destroying it. Like here in this clip, during damage, we bait him into swinging at the generator, and we can tell our damage phase is extended because in the chat it says that he struggles to regain his shield. This will add about an extra 10 seconds to your phase and makes it a lot easier to get that one phase. Also, as a little funny tip, you can stand in front of the boss while he tries to run to the final stand area and he just won't destroy the door and move on. It's kind of useful if you need to pick up ammo or something, but that doesn't really matter at this point because you do have an infinite amount of time to kill him and no way to fail other than dying or falling into hyperspace. Now, quickly to discuss a damage loadout for this boss, none of them really have much HP, but here's what I have used. We've had one Titan on Prismatic with a Thunder Crash on a Curus of the Falling Star, using the Parasite exotic grenade launcher and a rocket pulse. Then we used a Hunter rocking Tether and the new Fortune's Favor exotic boots. This player was also using the Parasite grenade launcher with a rocket pulse. And then the last player was the Well of Radiance Warlock. They used the Boots of the Assembler, which effectively increases the damage bonus that Well of Radiance grants, and their weapons were Finality's Augur plus a rocket. pulse. You could use a parasite if you wanted to though. I will say again, these bosses do not have much HP at all, and if you are partial to a certain damage strategy like swords with Wolfsbane and the Praxi Blade, then go right ahead and use that. Also, this team comp is not set in stone by any means. You will clear with pretty much any combination of characters as long as you have at least a single Well of Radiance to stay alive. Also, for my visual people out there, here's a quick showcase of what this damage phase actually looks like without me talking over it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the generous
I don't know if
phase.
it really matters. Yo,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
sick. That's sick.
Oh! That's fucking T-Flash damage.
Yes, man.
Right, wait, move to the gen, move to the gen, move to the gen. Oh look, he broke it! Yeah, he's stunned again!
Struggles to recover. Oh,
my
wow. Wait, stand in front of him, stand in front of him. No!
Oh, no, it worked.
Stop right there, Buster.
Oh, you broke it.
Oh, he broke it, he broke it, he broke it.
Stop
Wait,
right
wait, wait.
there, pal.
Stand,
That's
and then you
awesome.
stand in front of him and jump. Oh, you missed. Oh.
That is so funny.
That's awesome.
He's like, what was I doing again?
It's when you go to the fridge and you forget why you're there.
Alright, now moving to the end of the dungeon, we have the Dredgen Seer boss. This encounter actually has a couple things to talk about when it comes to speeding it up. The first and most basic one is to try and spawn camp the nameless apprentices at the back of the map, as most of the 5 can be killed before your first teleport to the Ascendant Plane. The second strategy happens after we teleport once. When in the Ascendant Plane, just kill all of the ghosts, the clones. Killing them will incentivize you to one phase this boss, as the threshold is now his entire health bar, but that's extremely easy to do. And the penalty for failing this is just extra lightning before the next damage phase. Also, if you're trying to one phase this guy, you kind of have to do this, as if you do this encounter the quote-unquote intended way, then your damage is literally locked at wherever the white health bar is. But back into the Ascendant Plane, speeding up this encounter, killing all 5 clones and destroying the blights takes you out really quickly, making this encounter much faster. And do remember that you can hit the top guy from below without having to do any jumping at all. And then where damage is concerned, our strategy was thus for the easiest one phase of my life. We had one Titan on Prismatic with Thunder Crash on Curious of the Falling Star using Finality's Augur plus a Rocket Pulse. Then we had a Hunter rocking Tether again like the second encounter, and the new Fortune's Favor Exotic Boots. This player was also using Finality's Augur with a Rocket Pulse. And then the last player was the Well of Radiance Warlock stuck to Boots the Assembler using the same setup. Finality's Augur plus a Rocket Pulse. If you don't have a Tether Hunter, use Tractor instead one of the Finality's Augur, but this setup absolutely fries. Also, to show off the final encounter's damage without me talking, here's what it looked like.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Ants?
Well, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Ooh.
Nice.
It's gonna be close.
And yeah, that's it. That is the Equilibrium dungeon with all of the fast strats. So when I go back in tomorrow and the rest of this week trying to grind out my Dark Saber Blade, plus any things that I missed, whether it's a legendary weapon or the armored drip, these are the strats that I will be using. And I hope that if you're going to be farming this dungeon too, then you use those as well. And with that, thank you for getting this far into the video. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Remember that I'm trying to hit 25,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without you. So with that, if you want to support me, support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription, joining the Discord, coming to say hi to me is a great help. It helps me out a lot. If you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't think of a comment down below, Equilibrium. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.